Hello, dear friends and family of the human family. Welcome to another update on what is turning out to be quite an extraordinary journey that you've also probably been a part of when you look at the last few videos that we've done here on this channel. Today, we're coming together here with Errol once again to talk about what is in the description of this video, meaning the next level of shamanism, what true activation of the magnetics look like. What's the importance about magnetism? How does it relate to shamanism? And how does it encompass absolutely everything when we can reduce everything that's going on in our reality with all the control that's happening and the puppets being placed all around the Truman Show stage in the form of politicians, the police, the military, the Vatican, the kings and queens of the world that are not kings and queens, and the entire control structure of the so-called Illuminati that are not, because we're about to find out who the real Illuminati are, and that deals with what we are doing here right now. True illumination and reducing everything away from the stage of different titles and different personalities of the control structure, but going right where what it's really all about, which is the signal. Where is your signal of reality coming from? Where's our signal of reality coming from? Where does our consciousness reside? And from where are we pulling our reality into existence? So this is what we want to talk about today. It'll be a fascinating journey into the depth of our work and what it takes to take the planet back, which is the only thing that we're interested in. We're not interested in entertainment anymore. It's long time since we were interested in that. And so let's dive in to the topic of true shamanism and how does it relate to our story at the moment. What would you like to share with the people here, Errol?
To be honest with you, I don't even know where to start from and how to dwell into the topic and whether I should even be starting with shamanism. I'm not sure yet. So
just start with whatever you want.
At this point, I'm in war mode. And obviously, as we speak, we'll have more understanding about this, why I'm in war mode. And I'm ready to go because I've had enough. I'm done with them. I'm not concerned about police, military, or government, or politicians, or even the Vatican, even the royal families, what they're doing at the moment. They're nothing. They're low-level initiates. That's who they are. But what we're going to get to, basically, is what we have been experiencing for the last couple of weeks, I suppose, or in me and Chris's case, for a couple of months now, a build-up to the last couple of weeks. But how it relates to shamanism, I can speak about this to begin with. Shamanism is not what everybody thinks, okay? It's not you go and see a shaman because you got a problem in your family, or you got a problem with your job or your life or your marriage, or you got a disease you want to cure, and screw all that, okay? Those are little minor worldly problems. You got to let them go. That's not what the core of shamanism is all about. What it's about is we were called to a place called San Corona. I don't know how to start. I'll say we were magnetically drawn to a place called Saint Corona in Austria. Okay, Saint Corona. We ended up there magnetically because we surrendered to the process. Last April, me, Steve, and Chris, we were magnetically drawn in by someone to Saint Corona. And I believe Steve already explained the story with the mushroom.
Just to relate back, so a quick insert here. So the first time when we went there, that was at the time when we also did the second interview with George Cavasilis. Okay, we did that interview in San Corona also. And that was when we did an activation of the pyramid in Grimmenstein in Austria. So just to keep the story short, on the last evening that we had in St. Corona before we went back to Linz, I was offered a mushroom, a magic mushroom, and I declined because I was like, no, I want to have my peace. Okay, we're going to Linz tomorrow, so I won't bother with that because I respect the medicine. Okay, I take the medicine when the time is right. However, the mushrooms had other ideas, and I've never experienced that before in my life, that the mushroom was actually speaking to me, communicating telepathically so strongly that it was basically saying, please, I know you don't want at the moment, but your will in your ego consciousness at the moment doesn't matter. Okay, it's your higher self calling. And now is the time to take in the medicine and just see what happens after that. So I took the medicine. I took one mushroom only, okay, very, very small dose, and instantly popped a bubble. As soon as it started to work after half an hour, it popped a bubble in me, and I could see the guy that I was talking about yesterday, Franzi, okay, Francis Vogel, which is the high priest of Satanism. I saw how he was working with black magic, and I told him exactly what I thought of him. And that was basically me confronting the sort of top echelon of this control structure, because as we're going to be talking about, the people that we dealt with are the higher ups of the satanic demonic hierarchy. So you don't have to talk with the Pope in order to speak with the highest level of the control structure. The Pope is part of the show, the Truman Show. Everything that is presented to you, okay, on this movie screen that we think the Illuminati structure is, there is a structure in the background, okay, with people whose names we don't know, but we found out through our experience who they are.
Got them all.
We got them all. So that was my experience in April. And from there, the story moves on, I would say.
So, yeah, Steve popped the mushroom, and the guy obviously did what he did. And Steve saw things for what they were. And he was trying to explain to me and Chris. And we were just listening to him, and we were taking the information, and we're like, okay, man, okay, relax, relax. And Steve was like, relax, this is what they're doing, don't you believe me? I was like, yeah, okay, just relax for now. And we go back to Linz tomorrow, we go to the demonstration and everything, and then we come back and we further investigate, whatever,
And what happened actually the next day? That's also significant.
So when we went to Linz, we went back to Linz to go to the demonstration, and I wasn't even interested in demonstrating in the demonstration, the festival that day. I just basically more went there to meet my love, the one I love. Okay, she was supposed to meet me there, and we were supposed to disappear. But when we got there, the police came up to me and they took me into the police station with deceptive excuse. We need you to come in because of a little immigration problem. It's all good and all this stuff. Yeah. So I went with them like an idiot, right? Never trust the police. And from there, they took me to another police station. And from there, they took me to prison. This was last April, which I spent one night in. And the next day, took me to an asylum camp, which I spent 4 days in. I mean, we've already been through this story. I slayed the shit out of them and got out. I left, basically. There was nothing they could do. I told them they can keep my system identification, my passport, my driver's licenses, because it's good as toilet paper. They don't mean anything to me anyway. You know, I rebuke the system. And I told them that I'm born free of the land. I don't need nothing from you. They couldn't do anything. I left. And ever since then, I've been free. Okay? No ID, no nothing. Now, within the months building up to now, Chris and I have had a calling to go back to St. Corona. We obviously at first didn't understand why, but we knew deep inside that there was a calling, there was something going on there, so we had to go. We had to take the calling. So we kept going back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, I stayed there. I've been there for the last couple of months at least, I say, you know, since the beginning, since the end of summer, beginning of autumn, I've been there, running up and down the mountain ranges there, picking mushrooms and grounding and connecting with the land there and doing rituals on the land there. And we noticed something very, very off with the energies there, me and Chris, very off. Constant presence of military there on the mountain, the Vexel, the Vexel mountain region in San Corona. And we eventually managed to pitch a yurt in the garden of the property, which we were staying in, which belongs to the church. So the yurt is right in front of the church, aligned with the church, next to the house. And a couple of weeks ago, we started doing ayahuasca ceremonies there. However, not with the jungle variant, the European version, the Middle Eastern version, which we know as Syrian rue or Harmala and mimosa, which is the European version of ayahuasca, basically. Okay, and the first ceremony we did there was very weird, because the guy who turned out to be the high priest, he was all for it. He gave us all the tools, helped us build the yurt. Yeah, this, nice, that. And, you know, the morning of the ceremony, we called the people. The morning of the ceremony, he sends me a message to my phone. What do you think you're doing? You know, ayahuasca isn't something you just do. It's not something you can play around with. It's something like serious. It's not like mushrooms or weed and all this stuff. And I'm not going to participate in this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now you reveal yourself to me for what you really are. Because never tell a medicine man about his own medicine. How demented must you be? So I go upstairs and he's giving me all the colds. He's just cold towards me now. And yeah, I'm not joining because, you know, I'm all good. I'm healed. I don't need the medicine. And completely the opposite. I can see pure fear in him right now. He's fearful. And I'm like, yeah, of course, because we're going to slay the shit out of you and we're going to see you for who you really are. So you're afraid to join us in ceremony. So I say to him, okay, whatever, don't join, but we're doing it anyway. And he's like, yeah, whatever, you know. And I'm cooking the medicine that day, obviously.
And that day was also the 13th of November. So we've got a date also to this, when this started.
I also failed to mention that 11/11 portal. The day after was the 12th, which was the day before this ceremony. The 12th. We did the ceremony on the 13th. Guess what happens? I do my daily routine. I go down to the lake or to the pond to do ice swimming. You know, I do my exercises, my pull-ups, my push-ups and everything, and then I go ice swimming afterwards. Chris was there with us as well that day. On the way back, out of nowhere, the police appears. And they just directly come to me and they want to arrest me, claiming that I'm an illegal immigrant. And it's like every time this police officer was trying to grab me and put his hands on me, it was like a protection bubble. He had no grip. His hands kept on slipping off. And all I had to do was no power. So I just told him, what? I'm leaving. Yeah. I command you. You work for me. This is our land. And then he was like, and then we just walked off. He got back in his car and he drove off, and no more harassment from the police after. But that was their last attempt of trying to take me in and take me out, basically. One day before I did the ceremony, because they knew that when we did this ceremony, okay, what was going to happen. And what happened was when we did the ceremony, oh my God. We noticed there's a signal coming from the church. It's a frequency signal, okay, which is artificial. However, what they have done is they've built the church on the energy spot of the land, where the good natural energy of the land is coming through, to hijack it, to put a cap on it, to invert it through the sick rituals which they do in the chambers of that church, so that they can, with the use of their technology as well, 5G and everything, they can sort of like form a grid across the globe, across the land, which keeps people under mind control through the energy of fear. They make the people submit to fear, and they're mind controlled through this artificial grid, which is converted into artificial through their sick ritualistic processes and programming. That's what it is. That's what the program is. That's how they program it, through their sick rituals. They invert the natural coming from the land. They piggyback off it and ride it, and they invert it to control the people, to control the masses, to keep them in fear, keep them in conforming, keep them going with the agenda, keep them in demoralization, keep them in bamboozle, keep them lost, keep them submissive and weak, so that they can implement their agenda on the people. And that's why you see the people following.
As well as what I also want to mention here, so they need a net for all people, okay? It's not just the so-called sheeps, okay, that watch the mainstream media, that they need a net for. This includes all the people that basically question what is going on and have an awakened spirit and see the agenda for what it is, see that Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 of the United Nations is being put in place, that there is a satanic pedophile network that has been running the world for too long, and that politicians are placement for this network, for this mafia, to impose a digital artificial control grid on the earth, and the social crediting system of China being the blueprint for all of the world, and that COVID is being used as an excuse to implement that agenda. They also need a controlling net for these awakening people. So the mind control grid that Errol was explaining, which broadcasts a signal of fear, goes right into the alternative media that I keep re-emphasizing. The entertainment alternative media fear-based news matrix that constantly keeps you in the loop and makes you go absolutely nowhere. And there's levels of mind control. That's why I really, really want to point this out at this point of the video. This is why me and Errol here, are speaking to you right now. Because we are protectors of this planet. We don't just say that the solution to this world crisis is, well, you just don't comply. Okay? Civil disobedience, you don't comply and you do not acquiesce with the agenda. Yes, that's true. But that's only one half of the coin. There's two sides to a coin, isn't there? So you say you disagree and you remove your consent and you do not follow the orders. Good. But we need to come to a point now where we need to find the power within us and tell them how it is. That we become the commanders of the police. That we recognize that everyone in state institutions and anyone working for the mafia is our public servant. And if they do not follow the orders that we, the natural sovereigns of this planet, human beings, the only ones allowed a say in this entire story that's unfolding, if they do not follow the orders of freedom, everyone's privately liable to any amount that you put there. That's the language and that's the sort of power we need to get to. Okay, this is why I wanted to point out that there's many levels of mind control and it goes deep into these alternative media.
You do not consent, so you must command. Any more to add? Or?
No, good.
Yeah, so basically they're broadcasting a signal. It's a signal, just like in the movie They Live. It's a signal they're broadcasting, which is a spell. So they're broadcasting a spell. And we intercepted this broadcast signal, okay? And the next day, what happened was, it was a bit of a funny day. Wake up in the morning, and this guy, he's wearing his priest outfit. Because he has to reveal now, you know? So he's revealing. He's wearing his priest uniform. And the cardinal came. The cardinal of Austria was instructed to come to measure the energy field of the area to see how much it's been distorted, how much their frequency has been distorted, basically, by the natural energy which we brought in through the ceremony. That was the power of the ceremony that we had, basically. We intercepted their signal and overrid it. So a week later.
When was that when the cardinal came?
It was exactly the day after the first ceremony. And they were shitting themselves. I didn't see the cardinal directly, okay, because he can't face us. What happened was the priest who usually conducts ceremonies in that church, he came to our door with the excuse of we're being too loud, right? So the door was already open and he was speaking to some people outside the door, and I came to the door, and this guy saw me, and the moment this guy saw me, it was like, he had to go because he saw me. This guy, he knows what he's doing, and he saw me, and he had to leave.
And I also want to clarify, okay, anyone can look this up. Who we're talking about here is Cardinal Schönborn. Schönborn, okay? You can look this up. This is the highest up cardinal and representative of the Vatican in Austria. Going to St. Corona, where Errol did, together with Chris and others, the first ceremony, going right there where they were staying one day after the first ceremony, doing checks on the energy grid because there was a massive distortion happening to their control grid.
And ever since we've been there doing the ceremonies, they've been constantly trying to attack our throats through the 5G. Steve, me, and Chris. And a week later, what happens? Steve joins us, finally, with Karin Meyer and Carl.
Samurai.
I don't know his second name.
He looks like a samurai.
Okay. Now, these two people were supposed to be our people who we know for months. So we invite them too, okay? And they come along with Steve, right? So now Steve, Karin, and Carl have joined us too. So we sit another ceremony. And basically the medicine is showing me exactly what they're doing in the church, okay? And exactly what is going on. And I can see the signal. We're overriding it now. So the signal has no power anymore. But their signal. And everything is all right. Oh, by the way, and this ceremony, the high priest himself, Franci, joins us because he has no choice. He has to join. You know, he has to. It's his last attempt to put a cap on it. So he thinks he's going to put a cap on it. So he joins us in the ceremony. So we drink the medicine. 1 hour into it, he has to leave the yurt because the frequency of love, light, the good energy, the good frequency, the good signal is so high, he has to leave. He goes into the house. And an hour later, me and Chris go into the house. We go to do a smudge, basically. We're smudging the house. We're moving through the whole house in the ceremony, smudging the house in the ceremony. That's what we do. We walk into his room. He's face down like this. We're like, hey, Franci, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. He's suffering. He's suffering. So we leave him there, and then we just carry on smudging the house, and we go back to the ceremony and finish the ceremony, and it's an amazing ceremony. Good. The next day, we wake up. By this time, he's disconnected himself from us, and he's drawn. He's got his bedroom door closed, and he's got a private sign up there. So basically, he doesn't want anybody to enter. So now the house is divided into two. There's us and there's him. He's disconnected himself from us. Okay? But he's playing the game now that we are causing the divide. So Steve, Carl, and Karin, they decide they go to Vienna that day to the demonstration because that was a Saturday and it was a big demonstration in Vienna. And they come back. And what happens is they go back to Crimsminster, don't they? And,
exactly.
And Steve decides to stay.
Yeah.
Steve is now with us. Everybody else is gone. So it's me, Steve, and the wizard, Chris. So another week goes by in the house, okay? And this guy's he's losing it now, slowly. He doesn't talk to us. He's criticizing us. We don't contribute to the house. We're this, we're that. He's perfect.
Yeah, go a little bit into the mindset of these archons and the constant victimization. And
they're always victim. When they cannot assert their mind control, their spell on you, when you can see through it and when you don't fall for it and you don't submit to their will, then they're victim and you're the perpetrator. So they accuse you of everything they are when you're not, because that's what they are. And they can tell you whatever they want to tell you, and you can't say nothing. Yeah? But it doesn't work with us. Fuck them. And this drives them even more crazy, and this causes them to go crazy and reveal themselves to us for what they really are even more. So we just basically stand our ground and let them reveal. And what happened was basically a week later, Karin and Carl, they decide to come back. And because we decided to do 2 more ceremonies, okay? We told them we're doing 2 more ceremonies, they decide to come back. So the first of these ceremonies was on Sunday, and the next one was on Monday. So on Sunday, I'm preparing. They arrive on Saturday, don't they?
Yeah.
They arrive on Saturday, and immediately what they choose to do is go into the high priest's room, okay, and spend the rest of their whole stay in the high priest's room and have a drink with him, have alcohol, drink alcohol with him, and ha 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 he he he. And what we were observing was the high priest owns these people, and they are under his command.
Yeah.
And he's controlling all of them through the mind control, spell, just black magic constantly. And me, the wizard, and Steve, we were going up to the lake to ice swim every day, okay? And we were saying, guys, you want to come? And they were just looking at us like you guys are going completely crazy, inverting, you see? They're all under the mind control spell going crazy, okay? They came with the intention to join us in ceremony. Now, they've forgotten about the ceremonies and they're hacked, okay? And now they're having party with the high priest. And so they've chosen the side of the high priest, and they've been turned against us by the high priest. And the high priest has poisoned their minds against us. So now we're the demons. When we bring the medicine to them for free, we invite them, they come, give them medicine for free, and they don't sit with us in ceremony with the medicine. They choose poison, alcohol, and ha 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 he he he, bamboozle entertainment by the high priest, because apparently he's charming, he's more entertaining, you know, and he knows how to have a laugh. And see, this is what I always speak about. People who love being entertained. It's a trap. That's why society is full of entertainment. It's entertainment everywhere. Television, you know. They have systematically programmed the society to constantly want to be entertained. So everybody constantly wants to be entertained, and they have everything for everyone. They have motorsports. They have reality show, whatever it may be.
Plato's Cave.
Yeah. William Shakespeare's stage, basically.
Exactly.
Globe. People love to be entertained, so they chose to be entertained, and they were turned against us. So now it's just me, Chris, Steve, Liz, very strong woman. I will tell her story later. And her child. Fuck. I will tell their story later. Okay. And another archon they have to have with us in the ceremony. Okay. There's 6 of us left. So the 5 of us, we're doing medicine now. Obviously, there's one child. The child's not doing, but she's sleeping in the yurte with us, which is a safe place to be while all this crap is going on in the house.
So we're talking now about the 3rd and 4th ceremony. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the third ceremony in Corona.
Exactly.
No, hold on. We did 3. We're talking about
In total 4. In total 4, and we're now talking about the 3rd ceremony.
Yeah. So basically, we did what we did our stuff for the day, and we did the ceremony that evening. Okay, and in that ceremony that evening,
and preparation also important. Preparation of the medicine. What happened?
My God, preparation of the right. Syrian rue and mimosa. Okay, we start to cook the medicine on a wood fire stove. Okay, inside the house. While they're all having their party, their alcohol drinking, coffee drinking, their whatever, you know. So we're in the kitchen cooking the medicine. All of a sudden, they start walking in and out, into the kitchen, out the kitchen, just to distract the energies. They have no business in the kitchen. They know exactly what we're doing. There's absolutely zero respect for what we're doing. They're interrupting the energies while we're cooking the medicine. So the wizard decides to throw 3 datura seeds into the medicine. Datura, for anybody who doesn't know what datura is, datura is the only plant which can break any curse and spell. Okay, datura is a plant where you ask a shaman about datura, they'll look at you and say, no, I don't work with datura. That's the kind of plant datura is, because it's not for everybody. It's a plant that either calls you, and when it does call you, you will know that it's calling you. Otherwise, you don't touch it, because it will fuck you up. Obviously, the plant called us, and the wizard, he threw 3 seeds into the medicine, and I took out the mapacho and I started blowing the mapacho into the medicine while it's cooking. And all of a sudden, what happens is there are noises around the house, bang, 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 like the pipes are about to blow up in the house. Because our intention when we brew the medicine and before the ceremonies is all evil must leave. All evil must leave this place. That's our intention. And with the power of our intention and the power of combining it with the medicine, the evil in the house is reacting now. Bang, 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 bang. So this guy comes running in with water, and he's now pouring the fire out, saying, you guys have made it too hot and all this stuff when we're cooking the medicine. So now we can't cook the medicine. And we're running out of time for the ceremony, but we still somehow override, and we manage to cook it on the electric cooker, don't we? So we have to switch from wood fire stove to electric. Can you believe it? And yeah, basically what happened was we finally cooked the medicine. We go down to the yurt and we begin the ceremony. We take the medicine and we go into ceremony. And obviously I sing Icaros. There's a bit of music going on, and it's a powerful ceremony again. It's a powerful ceremony again. The next day we wake up. These people are really cold towards us now. We walk into the house. It's like they're looking at us like they want to rip us apart. When we have done ceremony. And we're like, okay, let's go to the lake, do our routine, and do some ice swimming, okay, and make an intention, and come back down and prepare for the ceremony, another ceremony again tonight. So they tried to come with us, Karin and Carl, but they couldn't come with us because they were repelled by our energy. Okay, they're stone cold. And me, the wizard, and Steve, our vibration and frequency is high, our energy is high, and we're like, yeah, let's go up and do ice swimming and, go for a nice walk on the mountains through the snow and everything. And they're just, so we're waiting for them to come with us because they said they'll come. So we're waiting. They're keeping us waiting. They're just buying time. And then all of a sudden they come and we start walking. And then all of a sudden they're left back. And we look back at them and they're standing there. They're talking to each other, but they're not moving like humans. Ice cold. So the three of us just look at each other and we say, you know what, fuck them. Let's go and do our thing anyway. Okay, so we leave them and we just go up, we do our ice swimming, we come back down. And that night we do the ceremony, and this time it was only me, Steve, and the wizard. We make our intention, okay? Our intention was, dear medicine, fully surrender to you, okay? We want nothing other than the truth, no matter what it looks like. I don't care. We want the truth.
And also we want to cut the signal and transform the signal so the natural corona energy can flow through the earth. And again, obviously, because those two, the third and the fourth ceremony, were linked together. Okay, they were both happening on Sunday and Monday. So right after the third ceremony, we do the fourth ceremony. And again, all evil has to leave this planet. That's the intention.
And may all their weapons turn against them. May all their weapons turn against them. And medicine, I surrender fully to you because I know you know what you do. Okay? So we do the ceremony, and not one single, the three of us, we just took the medicine and we lay back. Not one single instrument played, not one single song or Icaro sang, not one single song from the playlist, no music, pure silence. Okay? And Liz and her daughter, Leonie, the child, is in the yacht with us, along with Liz's so-called handler, pretending to be boyfriend, but handler was with us. They didn't drink. This was a job for us. So we went into a 4 or 5 hour process, the three of us in silence. And Steve, what happened?
It was unbelievable because the medicine had never been so powerful like in that fourth ceremony. It was unbelievable. Okay, so there was the datura spirit was also with it, together with Hamala and Mimosa, the ayahuasca brew. And it was incredibly powerful and revealing. So this is what I would call next level shamanism, okay? That which most don't want to touch. So for me, in my experience, it was all about the energy. So ayahuasca was showing me the deeper levels of this control grid, okay? Going deep into the signal of Satanism and mind control, okay? So I was dealing basically with the archetypal figure of Satan, okay? And telling him, so ayahuasca was working together with me, wanting me to reveal to this archetypal figure called Satan what the law is, okay? And as I like to say, I am the law. Who are you? Nothing. You have to leave this planet. So that was my role in all of this, okay? Speak the law, express the law, and tell him to fuck off. So she was giving me that vision, and the next thing that happened was I get a telepathic communication from Satan directly. Do you want to face me now? You have to face me now. So I have to make a choice. And at the beginning, I was like taken aback because I wasn't expecting it. But then I thought like, yeah, of course, the power of our intention, okay? Obviously, it's going to be powerful, okay? So after 5 minutes of thinking, I decided, yeah, bring me into your realm. I'm going to tell you right there. I don't give a damn. I don't care, okay? You can't do anything to me because I know who you are. I know you better than you know yourself. With that intention, I said, yeah, bring me up, okay? And I was expecting to lose consciousness in this realm and move into another realm, okay? Into what people basically call hell. And you know what happened? Nothing happened. Because it is all a bluff. You know what hell is? Hell is having to go to work every day, to pay your bills, to pay your taxes, to work in an environment where you don't like the people. And you've got, as Danny says, you've got a boss you'd like to bury. You do this Monday to Friday. And on Friday, you come home looking forward to the drink so you can get so fucking pissed that you forget about the prison that you're living in. That is what hell is. There is no such place as hell. There is no Satan. It's all an illusion created by religions of this world in order to control you. True Satan, or the archetypal figure of Satan, is the involutionary force that is represented inside your psyche as your ego consciousness. The materialistic based consciousness that believes, I have to do this because I need to pay the bills. And basically what you're saying to me is you need an excuse because you don't want to change, because you've not suffered enough yet. When you're at the point where you've suffered enough, you do what I did or what Errol did, and you let it all go. And you say, fuck you, controllers. I'm going to take all of you down. I'm going to let go of my studies. I'm going to let go of my job because I hated it. Now it's about me. I'm going to come into my power.
Self-love.
And I'm going to show you exactly in self-love. I'm going to show the entire world that I, as a human being, came here to do something completely different. And that humanity is something completely different to what you twisted fucks were trying to tell me.
Self-love. And then the medicine began to reveal the entire network which has been around us all along. The people we have been interacting with. All of them.
They've been with us since...
months.
Since the very beginning, actually.
Since the very beginning.
Since the beginning of when I started speaking in Linz, and it goes further back in my life. So when I met Errol, okay, I would pick it up here, the story around about January, we got to know the Heinzes. Heinz Zinke and Jonathan Zinke. Jonathan has been in one of the videos also before. The guy with the long hair is always smoking and pretending to be something he's not. Not a Gnostic, but pure bullshit, okay? And they've been all around us the whole time. A network of Satanism,
yep.
Okay? And those people, as goes a quote by a Swiss banker, when he was talking about Satanism, he said, Satanists are peculiar people. You do not recognize them as Satanists. They're not the ones with, businessmen suits and all that. There are also lots of Satanists in business and finance and everywhere, but it goes right to the lowest strata of society. People around you.
Yeah.
You have no clue.
It's not those guys sitting in the high rise. Yeah, they're the guys doing the bidding, okay, in a different way. It's guys like this living in a house connected to the church in a place called San Corona, which nobody's even aware of. Even people in Austria, like, where is San Corona?
Well, not me. You were pointing to me. I'm
not
a high priest.
I'm just talking about Franci.
Yeah.
Average-looking guy.
Dreadlocks. Rastafari. Smoking weed.
Yeah.
Pedophile, Satanist, child procurer.
So what this place in San Corona is, or was before we busted it, basically was they were procuring children by taking in mothers with their child who seek refuge for themselves and their child, giving them a home to live in, to prepare them, to prepare the mother to slowly consent to giving up her child to be sacrificed. And we busted that, their workings there. And they're now with us, the child and the mother. They're with us now. So people are still waiting for Q fucking Anon. Yeah?
While this is going on.
While this is going on to do this. And common people like that, like us, are already doing it. And that's what we done basically in San Corona. And the last ceremony, the medicine was revealing the whole network to us. Look, this person. And then I'm like, oh, no, not this person too. And the medicine is like, yeah, Errol, stop bullshitting yourself. This person too, yes. And it's like, oh my God, they've been with us all along, all around us. And the very two people we invited to the ceremonies, which were turned against us, also part of the network all along. Whether they knew it or not, and we were decoding, okay, all of this. And at this stage now, we all three of us are talking to each other in the ceremony. This person, yeah, the network, yeah. And I begin to become conscious of my higher self in the process of doing so. The dragon is coming through me now. The Lyran is coming through us now. Okay? And just at that stage, guess what happens? They walk in. The high priest walks in with his two dogs around him. When they know we're doing ceremony, they walk in, okay, and intrude our ceremony. And then when they walk in, I get up and I look at them and I see them for exactly what they are. Being on the medicine as well, I see them for what they are, and they see me for what I am. Okay, and me and Steve look at each other. We're like, yeah, shall we cut, seal, and protect the ceremony right here? So we cut and seal and protect the ceremony right there and end it right there. And then they sit down, and the first thing this Francie guy does is the high priest. He pulls a lug of his cigarette, and then he looks at Steve and he goes,
blows the smoke right in my face.
Like this. So tell me, what's going on? And then I just go, of course, Archons, the oldest war in history, our one and only common enemy, the Archons. Because I saw them for what they were Archons. And at this stage, it's not even me, it's my higher self coming through me. And I look at Steve, because I was ready to rip them apart there and then, and I didn't want to do that. So I look at Steve and I say to him, diplomat, speak. So Steve starts talking, and what was it you said to them, Steve?
Well, basically, the way I started talking with them. So what this was is, okay, just to give a perspective on what was going on. So they move into the ceremony, and you have a constellation of 4 Archons and 4 Lyrans. Okay, those 4 Lyrans being me, Errol, Chris, and Liz. Okay, and her daughter, obviously 5, but her daughter was asleep, not taking part.
They didn't join the ceremony, but they were with us. Liz was meditating.
Yeah. And it was a coming together. It was sort of like a round table scenario. Okay, just to throw that notion in. A round table scenario of 2 warring factions of the endless war. The war
Light
that's been
forces
waging.
And the Archons.
Light forces and the dark forces. Of the Archons and and the Lyrans coming together for the first time in the Earth's plane, fully.
To resolve the problem.
And the way I started talking was, I'm looking at Errol and I'm like, how do you explain a signal that's outside of the bubble to a signal inside of the bubble? Because these archons can only stay in their bubble because of what I keep referring to in the videos. They are the force of limitation.
So they cannot decode the signal.
Exactly. So that's how I started. And basically there it's already checkmated. Okay, because I don't like to carry on a speech of half an hour, you know. I just tell them right away, and I finish after 2 minutes with the words, "We are the ones who knock."
And then what does he do? Fuck you, Steve.
Yeah, go crazy.
Yeah. And then I say something, I can't remember what it was. Shut up, Errol, shut up. And I say, this is my house. This is my yurt. I command this house. And he's like, oh, fuck off. I'm like, I command this house. This is my yurt. And he says to me, you like the yurt? And I say, oh, I love this yurt. He says, keep it. And then he gets pissed off and he walks out. And I say, exactly. And then his other two archons, his lower initiates, leave with him in cold blood. And in ceremony, we see them for what they are. They're fucking vampires, you know, black eyes and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we go to sleep that night and we actually get a good sleep, don't we?
Yeah, really, really good sleep.
And the next...
Much needed. Actually, only for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it was much needed.
It was much needed and it was perfect. Errol needs shielding. I'm sending shielding energy now. Thank you. Thank you. I am the shielding. Thank you. So the next morning, we wake up and Steve decides to go into the house to make a coffee. I go in there with him. And then this Francie guy, little prick, he comes flying out of his bedroom into the kitchen. Fuck you, Steve, and grabs Steve by his throat and pins him up against the window like this. So I grab him and I'm like, hey, relax. And then he's like, get out of my house and all this stuff. He attacks Steve physically, this little prick, okay? Weed. So we make our coffee and everything and we spend the day in the yurt. The house is over now for us, right? Let them have the house. We have our yacht. And in the evening, Steve goes back in the house to make a lemon tea, I think, or something like this. He attacks him again. So we run into the house. We hear it, and we run into the house, and they're all going crazy in the house now. But hold on a minute. This was after Karin and Carl left. They left in the morning. And then this prick attacks him. And then second time in the evening goes into the house again. He's attacked again. And there's another archon in there called Lena, who just moved in literally 2 days before. Also part of the network, archon. And they're both attacking him. And the wizard walks in and Elena is attacking the wizard as well. And they're like, get the fuck out the house. You don't pay for nothing. You don't contribute. Demons. And they're shaking by now because they're reacting to the new signal coming in directly from the source. The new paradigm combined with the medicine is reacting. Because we've got to bear in mind, Francie drank our medicine. So all it takes is one archon, their leader, to embody that medicine, okay, which is poison for them, medicine for us. So now the medicine turns against all the archons which have been putting a cap on shamanic and medicine work, because that's what's been going on until now. All the major retreats, medicine retreats and centers, till now have been run by the network, the satanic network, and they've been putting a cap on the medicine. So we basically reversed it and broke the curse. So now they burn and they can never touch our medicine ever again. And all their weapons turn against them and they burn and they churn. And our last day there in that house, basically, nobody could go in the house anymore because they were attacking everyone except for me. So I went into the house to get everybody's stuff.
Have you ever seen the movie Blade?
Yeah, it's like basically when they see me, it's like when Blade walks into the nightclub and the music stops and the vampires are like, it's him.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's me. So I walk into the house to get all our stuff and tell them that we're leaving. And the high priest is standing there. He's like, it's time to leave, Errol. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. And I'm like, yeah, shaking. And his dog comes as well. He's like, yeah, you tell me I'm an archon. Where is your proof? And I'm like, I'm leaving this house now because I want to leave, okay? I basically said to them, my command and intention was simple. All I said was all evil must leave. And you know what the high priest says to me? Then you must leave. Yeah? In other words, I'm evil, so I have to leave. And I say to him, no, I'm leaving now because I choose to leave. And I will come back to get my yurt because that's my yurt. And this is my house. And next time I come back, I'm going to make sure you're not here anymore. And then he's like, it's time to leave, Errol. He's just, the demons inside these people are reacting to the new signal which is coming in, which is the magnetics, which Steve has been talking about for years now, months.
Yeah, and my understanding got even deeper when we two got together, because I mean, I have to mention this also to Kava Kep Astra is absolutely spot on in the comments of what she's picking up the signal basically, and it is true that you see that there's different codes inside the individuals. Okay, so she's absolutely right. I represent sort of like an ambassador role for planetary source intelligence, the intelligence of the knowledge, the gnosis of natural law and natural order, okay, and bringing it to those people, okay, sort of like an intermediary role of communication, okay, knowing how to checkmate, knowing the system for what it is. And Errol represents, perfectly described in the movie Blade, the one they can't touch, okay,
Protector principle.
And he's like a representation of a dragon to a reptilian, when the dragon swallows any reptilian.
That's why they were looking at me and they were telling me that I let the devil in and I'm the devil now, when they are the devil. You see?
And again, also absolutely spot on.
Inversion.
When Kava Kep writes, the proof is his rage. Exactly, his rage, the way the distortion, the demonic energy comes out, shows that we have changed the signal. It's direct proof. Okay, you're not going to get a military document by the CIA or someone or confirming of what we've done. No, the proof is our experience and how repelled the forces of limitation and the high priests were from what we did.
It's
absolutely
all
freaking
about
out.
Magnetics. And the 2 days before the last two ceremonies you did, or was it after this one before the last ceremony, you did a live stream in the house. And the high priest is in the next room and he's hearing him do a live stream. And basically, as soon as he finishes the live stream, guess what the prick does? He picks up the Wi-Fi hub and he throws it out the window into the snow.
Totally normal thing to do. Obviously, it's not of my role in this. Okay, coming back, information communication, and that was the video taking down the signal of the Matrix. I do that live stream, the 33 minutes that it was. I finish it, and half an hour later, the signal's out of the window.
Not even half an hour
Not
later.
even half an hour. It's just they had to get rid of it because of the exposure, because of what I said yesterday. As long as the roots of wickedness is hidden, it is strong. Okay, and when it is recognized, that is the start. When you recognize, it starts to dissolve. However, when we reveal it, it perishes. So what we're doing right now by revealing it is actually the activation of the magnetics.
And we have activated the magnetics big time there. And it's a coronal energy coming in from the source, which is the upside down pyramid coming in. You know, we have their pyramid, and the magnetic pyramid is merging with their pyramid, and is acting like a antivirus system, flushing out the virus through the system. Basically, if you want to put it into that sort of an analogy, that's the best way to explain it.
As you can see here with this T-shirt,
And
for example,
yeah,
the downward pyramid
exactly
coming in.
It's just completely flushing them out. It's a system flush, gets rid of the virus, which is the occultic virus. Okay, and when I left the house that day, when I went up there, what I saw was them reacting to the magnetics, and they're screaming around in panic around the house, walking up and down, restless, okay, shaking.
And you know what has happened since, okay? For all those who want proof, since we've done the last ceremony, okay, the Prime Minister of Austria that has been that took over from the last Prime Minister, Sebastian Kurz, Schallenberg, who's been in office only like about 1 month, stepped down, as well as other ministers stepped down.
You know why? Because the veil's been lifted. They see that who they are serving is a sick satanic network, and these people can no longer face them, so they're stepping down and running away, which is opening the door, leaving the door open for people like us to come in and say, guys, we're in charge now. Okay, don't worry about these fuckers, we got them in check. Okay, this is what we're doing now, this is how we're doing it now. And even the news we've been getting from the demos, the police is stepping back now, and it's like they're waiting for the people to come in.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Take over.
This is now the next step that's going to happen. So the energetics are cleared. Okay, just to explain this, of how the mechanics of this work. Okay, so the high priest of Satanism, the top of the pyramid structure, okay, who gives the orders to all of the lower downs in the Truman Show of the Pope and whatever. This is all a Truman Show. This is the matrix reality that works differently because the people really in charge are in the background whose names you don't know. Well, now we know Francis Vogel, as we say, okay? And that's the top of the pyramid where the Archon orders are coming from. And that top of the pyramid has been busted, okay? He's drunk the ayahuasca brew. It is inside of him, which works as a flushing the system and like an antivirus software, getting rid of the mind virus that the archons represent in the form of the involutionary force. Okay, and this pyramid is now, it's like pulling a card from the house of cards, which makes the whole house of cards come down, and that is what flushes the system. And because we took down the high priest, in the holographic sense, the entire pyramid is taken down, because you've taken down the principle, you've taken down all the agents, and in whatever manifestation they come, because you have taken down the principle, and that principle then is reflected in the agents. It's the holographic principle of reality.
Want to know what this is, guys? These are the seeds of datura, the datura plant. These are the seeds. And all it took was 3 of them in the brew, the ayahuasca brew that we prepared. We basically, What we basically done was we nuked them, didn't we? It's like nuking the enemy. It's like an atom bomb for them. It destroys them. We nuked the shit out of them, and now they're all beginning to react. All the archons in this realm, because they've colonized planet Earth. Let's face it, they're everywhere. In human bodies, they're walking around. They look like humans, okay, but that's the guys. And what the medicine does is it lifts that veil. It breaks down the holographic guy's suit, which looks human, so you see them for what they are, and we can see them all now. And so now what they do is actually what they literally do now is they just turn on each other. They slay each other, and they eventually slay themselves. They've got nowhere else to go but just be destroyed, to be purified by the light codes coming in. It's too much for them. It's too much for them. They can't withstand it.
That's why the most effective work you can do is to study the modus operandi of this colonizing force, the vampire empire. Okay, look at the mechanics of how they operate, and eventually, as was with my investigation, you come to liability. Okay, they never take responsibility. Therefore, you always see a state of victimhood with them. You can see it in your boss. Probably you can see it in other people around you. They always act in victimhood and make you feel guilty. They work on your weaknesses, okay? Because every time we give our power away, it's because of a lack of self-love.
Exactly. Yes.
And the deeper you go into the modus operandi, you get to the signal. It's all about the matrix. Everything else is distraction. The matrix is a broadcasting system.
It's a signal, yeah.
And what is it broadcasting? What are the information codes it is broadcasting?
Fear, death.
They can't initiate anything, okay? So they have got no energy source. So they use the natural energy source that is coming through the planet from the source intelligence. They do human sacrifice, invert that energy, and broadcast that fear signal through their mind control grid through 5G. And this is what we call COVID-19. That's why it's it's the spell.
It's a spell.
Spell on humanity.
It's a broadcasting signal. It's a spell. And datura is the only plant which breaks any spell and curse. Any.
Yeah, this is a coming together of everything that I've ever dreamed of. And it's fulfilling the will of the source that has been working through us, hasn't it?
We carry the new signal and we bring it in now, and we flush them out. And the next stages will be very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So
it will be on a physical level. And see, this is why Austria is in the news these days. Is everybody's talking about Austria now? They're doing this in Austria. This is what's going on in Austria. Why do you think? And there's so many lies about Austria, that they're doing this, they're doing that. All bullshit. Bullshit. What are they doing? Nothing.
And the truth of the matter is that, as I've been saying, the first domino of the matrix control system that is going to fall first is in Austria. The truth of the matter is that we've taken them down successfully, and it has happened. And now what we're doing right now is just ordering things again. So we've got a new base now. We're going to move into a completely new place. Our reality has shifted. Okay, it's just trying to ground itself and manifest itself. Okay, when the time's right. So that's what we're gonna do. And when we've got a place where we can settle finally, then the new instructions come. What I can already see is we're pulling all of that, what we've done energetically, into the material now. So we don't have to worry about anyone's boss. I don't care if it's the police, the CIA, or the Mossad. We took down Satan.
They're under us.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. I mean, the ending of that last ceremony was intergalactic roundtable meeting between the two forces of good and evil. That's what took place there. It was the last meeting between good and evil of the higher ups of both sides, the elite of the both sides. And it wasn't no pope, it wasn't no queen or king or any member of royal family.
It's all the Truman Show.
It's all the Truman Show. It's the circus pulled around us to focus our attention on, oh, it's the Vatican, it's the royal families. Yes, it is. Yeah. But what about where it's coming from behind them?
Where's the signal coming from?
Where's the signal coming
Where's the corona crisis signal coming from? Has it got something to do with Saint Corona, and is the high priest living there?
Who talks about the church and the churches and the energetic grid the church system forms across the planet? Who talks about every single church on earth is built on a specific point on the earth, which is connected? It's a grid which they channel their sick energy through to control the whole energetics of the whole realm. And it's a signal, okay? And underneath these churches, in the chambers, the sacrifices that take place, we're going into all these places with the police force. We are going, and not no cute bloody on. Yeah? And we are telling the police, look, you see what they're doing there? Because the medicine showed me, man, what they're doing everywhere, okay? And this is why they hate me and can't do nothing to me. And now the game they're playing with us is because they know that we had to get out of that place. We have nowhere to stay. When you do a job like this, your whole environment turns against you. Even your own family, they don't want you anymore. So you're on the street. So me, Steve, Liz, and Leonie, the child, we're in Liz's friend's house now, okay? And we can't stay here long. So we're looking for a place. We may have found the place already. We'll find out by the end of today. The other night, what happened, Steve? We went and... You want to explain this one?
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
So even before I went to Saint Corona, I was like my very dear friend Luma, who me and Errol have done interviews with, from England, who's such a kind soul. She's been nothing but kind and such a big help to what we do. Sorry to get a bit emotional because she's just been such a help. And she forwarded an email to me by an interview partner that she had, a woman from Bulgaria, who said that she's got a place to stay in Austria, and she wants people to live there and take care of the place. So when we had to leave St. Corona, I suddenly dropped into my mind, oh, I could write to her and see if it's still free. So it was still free, and we checked it out. And guess what happened? It's we walk into that house. So first, the major challenge was to find the key. So we're talking...
It's like a quest.
It was like a quest, and she was...
From a Stephen King book.
Exactly.
Unlock this, walk into the house of hell,
Absolutely ridiculous. And she was playing games with us. And we go there. It was like a 1 hour, 40-minute drive, right in the north of Austria. And we go to that house. We have troubles finding the key. We finally find the key. It was sort of like hidden somewhere. She showed us on the photo where the key was placed with like a smile, like like taking the piss.
The smile emoji.
And so we got the key. We opened up the door to the house, looking for a place to stay because we're homeless. Okay. So yeah, what do you do with people who are homeless who've just pulled off a job in taking down the entire satanic network that she serves? You walk into that. We walked into that door, and it was a place of filth, of Satanism. It was disgusting. And this woman was, oh yeah, you can live there and there. And she knew everything, that we have a, 'a small child with us, doesn't give a damn because it's all about, you know, the satanic network that she serves. You give them, you walk into that. We walked into that door, and it was a place of filth, of Satanism. It was disgusting. And this woman was, oh yeah, you can live there and there. And she knew everything, that we have a small child with us, doesn't give a damn because it's all about their sickness.
And
the source telling us, guys, this is exactly what you're dealing with. What did we see when we walked through there? What did you see?
we found magazines with Dracula porn.
Yeah.
Dracula sex magazines. Dracula having sex with young blonde women in the magazines.
Yeah. That's what, and then you tell her that, and she's all like, well, I don't know about it yet, always playing victim, okay? And that's it, you know. It was just, okay, everything serves as a learning lesson. The source telling us, this is the guys you've been dealing with, and this is what you've taken down. I mean, there can't be any more satisfaction than that.
The reason why they do is they, in their dementia, they think they're gonna make us feel intimidated, and so that we surrender, so that we think that they're everywhere and we're surrounded by them, so that we go lower down the frequencies and they can come in and take us. But it doesn't work with us.
Because again, the signal inside the bubble cannot decode the signal outside the
exactly. And we are not homeless. A beautiful place, we feel inside that a beautiful place is coming up for us to stay.
We're pulling that place in.
And that's why we chose not to stay in that house of sickness. And I'm not interested in transforming that house of sickness with my good energy, because when the time comes, I'm bringing down their whole entire network. I'm not wasting my time on one house.
I think we've already done that, because it's a holographic universe, you see, and you only have to have one access point, like the action that we did explain today, okay, and the entire empire burns, all of it, because of the pyramid structure. And it's, again, using the symbology that's so powerful. You pull a card from the house of cards that makes the whole house of cards come down. It's only one card. And what is that one card? What is the key? Okay, what is the weapon of mass destruction, and how did we nuke them?
Mass destruction, weapon of mass destruction for the archontic force. It's the medicine, man. It's the medicine. It's true shamanism. That's why they had to spun their entire web and form a grid of fake shamanic networks, which the people have to come through. People that wake up, they gravitate towards shamanic work. They're called by the medicine. Okay, so they had to make sure that they run all these ayahuasca retreats.
Also, Gnostics,
to put a cap on it.
Or Gnostics who wake up to themselves, okay, in their former lives they were Cathars, okay, and they've got the Gnostic intel flowing through them, and then they end up at places like John Lamb Lash.
Another fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world is different to
no,
what we're thinking.
No, Errol. Ayahuasca works the same with everyone. No, it doesn't, you fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking know.
Now, who's got the last laugh, John? Huh? Who has the last laugh? Okay, because don't get me wrong, I read the book Not in His Image, and it's a great book. However, they're all here to put a cap on that, what we're doing, sharing information freely, okay? So people wake up fully, because Plato's cave has many, many dimensions to get a net around you.
I mean, this network is so insidious. They were all around us, pretending to be with us, you know, and medicine people. And I mean, this guy called Carl, if you look at him, he's so humble. Yeah. It's all an act. He's so soft, so humble. Okay. You think to yourself, this guy, man, is pure. No. Because they have to play Errol, your energy is a little bit angry, you know, relax, come back into the heart. Yeah. Don't express your emotions. Okay. And why do you have to question this and talk about Satanism? It's not good. We don't bring it in. Bullshit. Yeah. False light. The archons pose as false light. And when you bust them, then you see how full of light they are, don't you? They go crazy. What happened now, Ada? What happened now, brother?
And it's a multi-dimensional control system, okay? And as soon as you shine your light, okay, and you make a difference in this world, the most important thing you have to remember, you always have to stay true to yourself. Because, for example, me and Errol have been on such a learning curve. It's been unbelievable this year. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible what we've been through. So, for example, I already, from my, was said also in the comments here, my vulnerability, yeah, it's my greatest strength. I can pick up things, I sense things quickly. So I sensed already in April that the Hineses were part of the network. I talked to Errol on the phone. I said, Errol, these guys are Satanists, okay? I gave him the intel, this and that. It wasn't the right time yet, okay? So it's a work in progress. And the most important thing that you need to remember is you have to stay true to yourself. Like, I went through 5 months being completely on my own. No one I could talk to, because I had to use these 5 months to take a rest and go into the ice cold water, do the breathing techniques to get into my power in order to be able to do this job.
So basically, the way the network operates is, okay, when they know that you're about to make a significant step towards taking their network down, right? They send in people to your lives. They send in people to your life, which pose as friendly people who welcome you and invite you. Yes, come over, this, and they show you things, you know, they talk to you about medicine because they know you're a medicine man, for example, you know, and they show you shamanic drums, mapacho, and smudging things, and they're like, yeah, I'm connected to this person, I know this person, there's ayahuasca people here, there's you know, people practicing medicine here, I can take you to them, to introduce you to them, which never fucking happens, all a lie, right? They promise you all these things to pull you in, and they say, yeah, come, stay with us, okay, and we will travel to these people together, and we will see, and all this stuff, all promises. So you're like, okay, so you go with it, and nothing ever happens. And when you begin to question them, what the hell is going on with these people here, they're talking bullshit, they turn cold against you, and they start accusing you with things which they are doing to you. They would, for example, they'll turn around and say to you, you know, Errol, you've been in this house for 2 months now, and all you've done is just sit here on the terrace and just stare at the trees, and I've been waiting for you to do things, when it's the other way around, because you were the one who promised me, you prick, that we are going to do this, we're going to do that, I know this person, I know that, I know this, I know that, stay with me, we must do this together, I'm waiting for you, you cunt. Yeah, and they flip things on you. And the last thing I had from this guy was, I woke up in the morning, okay, and I go out onto the terrace, okay, to sit there, and as soon as I sit down, do you not think that ashtray is a little bit too full, Errol? You know, was emptied. And I'm like, okay, then this is the last time you ever see me. And the next time you see me, I'm coming for you.
And in the comments here, we've had that exact experience. Wow. Exactly.
It's the network, my friend.
Yeah,
it's the network.
Yeah.
It's the network.
Yeah. And just keep going. Okay. Bust these people. Or as Errol likes to say, just slay them. Best in ceremony. Okay. So the medicine for you and you moving along further in your evolution and your soul growth is poison for them.
Yeah. And I was in 2 months over this summer, they put me into a place which was supposed to be an ayahuasca retreat in a place called Mölln in Austria, basically, run by Philipp Thesbaum and his wife Karin, whatever the hell her second name is, I don't know. Yeah, network. They were putting a cap on the medicine. I explained this in another video on planetary intelligence, which I did with my brother Ahmed, planetary intelligence.
Yeah, check out that channel.
Check out that video. I talk about this. They were basically putting a cap on the medicine by serving first part of the medicine and not the DMT. And they were always pushing me away, and they always had me under control there. Okay, and they never exposed me to their children. They always hid their children from me and their family from me, and isolated themselves from me because they were very afraid of me. But I saw through what they are. Okay, this is how these people operate. They make sure they're in control of everything, and all it takes is the right person or the people to go in and tear down the whole, see through their whole entire network, call them out on it, and tear it down with the medicine. That's why they pretend to be medicine people running all these retreats, but they never sit with the medicine. Some of them, they don't even come to the ceremonies. They don't take the medicine. They get other people to run the ceremonies, okay? And they're up there doing fucking black magic to suppress the energy of the ceremony which you're doing. Or they just simply serve the medicine with a cap on it, half the medicine, not the full medicine. And all it takes is someone like me to walk inside and slay the shit out of all of them. And now, what they're trying to do is intimidate me. They're done. They're done. I'm going to walk into all of their places, okay, and take everything. And I'm walking in with the police.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And I would like to, because this is extraordinary what we're doing here today, and I'm happy to keep going as long as we've got a quiet place here still. So here, warriors amongst men. Okay, so she's shared. They've been going through a 3-year curse, much bad luck, and I think she would like to specify what you want us to speak about, because I would like you, Errol, to talk a little bit about the curse breaking, how to break curses, and how it really works.
Datura seeds, even if you just smudge with them, okay, have it around the house, sprinkle it around the corners of the room, the seeds of it, okay, put your intention into them, okay, that will break the curse. And if the plant calls you, try to connect with put some seeds underneath your pillow at night when you're sleeping, okay, and make an intention to connect with the spirit of the datura, and she should come into your sleep. She should come into your vision in your dream, and you can tell her, listen, I've got this going on, please break it for me, can you do this? Because that was the first thing I did. When she called me, I put some under my pillow, me and the wizard together, and I connected with the spirit of the datura, which I call the witch, because she's a witch, good witch, powerful. Datura seeds, datura, Datura, datura.
Exactly. And that will get rid of all the spells and the curses, and this is what we've been really dealing with. Okay, what have we been dealing with on this planet?
Ayahuasca refers to datura as her greater sister, and that if you wish to know anything about datura, that you should ask her about her and not me. And this is the level of respect even ayahuasca has for datura. Combine the datura with the ayahuasca, you nuke the archons, you nuke evil. That's the real nuclear weapon.
And that's what we did, and we didn't even know that this is the way it worked. However, what we've been on ever since me and Errol met, for example, and being prepared before that, is that we've been following a guidance of the source, and that's what brings you directly to how to take them down.
Okay, can you buy datura anywhere, and can you take datura? Right. The way it works with datura is, first of all, the plant just shows up in your life. through some way. The plant itself shows up in your life. In our case, it just showed up. So we took the plant and we started putting it under our pillow, as I was describing earlier, and we connected with it. And the datura was telling us, yeah, prepare yourselves, because we're going to be working together really soon. So prepare yourselves in the form that start doing the dieta, clean your body out, cut the smoking, cut the dairy, cut the cheese, especially the cheese, cut the meat.
It's been very difficult.
Clean yourself, discipline yourself, cut the alcohol, okay? Keep going to the cold water and swimming, sleighing, Wim Hof breathing, swimming in cold water, walking barefoot in the snow, okay? Keep preparing yourself, okay? Because we're going to be working together. So when you make a connection with the spirit of the datura, the spirit will tell you what she wants from you anyway. So I can't tell you how to do it. It's between you and the spirit of the datura. But what I can tell you is, if you can find some seeds from somewhere and just start putting them under your pillow and make the intention to connect with the spirit.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say we wrap it all up for the time being. So what we can say is, as soon as we find a stable place, we can get into contact with George Cavasilis and Max Egan and many other people to crystallize this information even further. Okay, so we've only scratched the surface for the time being, and we've covered a lot of ground today, I would say. It's been very powerful, and the next steps will reveal. It's going to be incredibly powerful. So what the demons there already were saying, the vampires, was like, oh, Steve, he wants to take down the Vatican, and it's what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's how a Gnostic takeover looks like when you ask me for my lucid dreaming experience.
Steve and I were doing high commands in the lake, on top of the mountain, in the lake. We used to break the ice and go into the lake naked and do high commands. Okay, that all evil must leave. We command this land. And you know what they were saying to us? I'm sick and tired of your high commands. Who do you think you are to high command? I can hear you every day on top of the mountain high commanding. I mean, what is your problem, Mike? What is a normal average person's problem with someone high commanding evil to leave? Yeah. Unless you're evil yourself.
Exactly. So this is what, when you ask me, okay, this is the lucid dream experience. When you ask me what it looks like, okay, this is a Gnostic takeover. You walk right into the Vatican. They can't do shit. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. We're going to reveal everything. We're going to take absolutely everything back, because it's the only thing that makes sense. As I said yesterday, yeah, good, you have your small community, but if you don't take over, you're part of the problem. That's as simple as. That's why we have the task and the duty to share with you what it truly means to be a human being on this planet, who's living on this planet, and who's and this planet being their home. If this is your home, this entire reality, the entire planet, you tell evil to fuck off and leave your home, no matter where they are. This is the spirit that we bring to the earth here. This is the planetary cosmic intelligence.
Knock, knock, let the arrow in. The high priest was constantly taking the piss out of us, saying, knock, knock, let the devil in, huh? Yeah? Knock, knock, let the devil in. He was singing to us, knock, knock, let the devil in. And I was saying to him, knock, knock, let the arrow in. And we were just like taking the piss out of each other like this. It's all psychological games, warfare.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, this is what a takeover looks like. And this is our home. We have the first say in all of this. And we tell all of the human family now, in police uniform, military, whatever, whoever has got a problem with us ending this crisis, because as we talked about the intergalactic, interdimensional meeting that we had after the fourth ceremony, when the archons came in, it's job done. So the energetics are cleared. So all we need to do now is go into the material realm and tell those of mankind who are acting as policemen or military men that the war is over and that the light has won. And we walk right in there, because the politicians can't face the mafia. They're too afraid of it, because they only know what they know in order to do their job. They're low-level initiates, okay? It's all a sideshow for what's really going on. And those with the knowledge, who know what's going on and who have done the work, now have the legitimacy and the authority. This is how you get authority. You see that?
We hold the charge.
You hold the charge. You get the authority by doing the work, by going into the high priest's den and nuking it with weapons of mass destruction for demons called ayahuasca medicine, together with the datura. And when you've done the work, you tell those of mankind, it is over now, okay? And anyone who's got a problem has to have a very, very strong printing machine of money, because anyone who wants to stop this,
You know,
they can't stop it anyway.
me and Steve had a big realization just last night, or the night before, I think, that we all of a sudden just realized to ourselves that we actually, I said to Steve, hold on a minute, we just walked into a satanic church, and we rescued a mother and her child from them, which they were preparing for sacrifice, the child. So we actually saved the child from sacrifice. And we did it without even thinking about it, because we just do it. And all of a sudden, the whole system turns against us, people who we know. With this lady, she has an empty house, okay? And we were trying to contact her to say, look, this is what's going on. Can we sleep over for tonight until we find a place? Because otherwise we're going to sleep in the garden, on the street, in the cold, okay? And she just stopped answering the phone. And the next day, Chris phones this woman up, and she says, yeah, I'm going to the house. We can meet there. So we go there, and then she's expecting us to help her move the house, take some stuff out. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Is this a moral test? Because last night when we needed you, you were nowhere around. And now you want us to help you move your house. Fuck you!
Exactly. That's exactly what's required. And that's exactly the appropriate thing to do. When the Matrix would tell you, oh, who are you not to help a woman? Well, it's a moral test. And true morality looks very different to what we've been conditioned to believe it is. You don't slave for anyone. It's a lack of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do anything that doesn't feel right to you. When people are using you, tell them to fuck off.
All along, we've been talking to these people. Guys, there's a satanic network. We need to take them down, okay? What they've been doing is, oh, that's not the good vibration. That's not the good energy. We gotta come together now in this house, and we gotta like party and forget about you, bamboozle. And then they pull you into that, and they get you doing all their dirty work. They get you cooking for them, cleaning their house, cleaning their gardening. They turn you into their slaves. And then when you realize, they get rid of you.
Exactly. So what we did is we kept plugging on. We don't settle for nothing else but the truth, and we settle for nothing else but taking this planet back to those who it belongs to. We are here as protectors for humanity and protectors of the earth, and you don't fuck with us. And by telling you this, everyone watching this here may recognize that you're here to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Protect your home.
And it takes full sacrifice, guys. This is the meaning of true sacrifice, which they talk about in their twisted Bible, okay? This is the true meaning. You got to let everything go and surrender to everything.
Exactly.
Oh, I've got one member of the network calling me as I speak now. Let it rest. You got to let everything go. We've even been sleeping in sleeping bags out in the cold, in the rain. I mean, it's winter here in Austria, and you do what you have to do.
It was in the garden, and it was a dusty
Mm-hmm.
place. We did have a roof over our head, but it was the most disgusting night. And I even have a bad
Cold.
cough. I have a bad cough from the attacks after everything that we've done. People call it a cold, but it's actually 5G working on me.
Yep.
And it's been.
They've been attacking us in the throat. The three of us, man. The three of us in the throat. Because they wanted to make us think that it's because of the cold ice swimming, when it's the cold ice swimming that protects us from it. You see?
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the cold ice swimming. And now, as you can see, we've been waiting to do this live stream for a long time now, but we haven't had access to internet or a house. Now we're finally in a house of Lizzie's friend. Okay, and I don't know how long we're welcome here for, so we've got to find a place to move on.
And what I would like to say, we let us be pulled in to a place, and we're gonna be pulled into a nice place. Exactly what is what we deserve, because we deserve a lot for the job we've done. It's been incredible, and I'm really really happy with what we've done. It couldn't have been better.
There's someone, she's saying, come to USA where datura grows. No, datura is already here with us, and we have to stay in Austria to take this network down from Austria. Austria is the first domino to fall. That's the reason why we've been called to Austria, to be in Austria, to do it in Austria. Everything else is a distraction. Stay focused.
Exactly.
Eagle vision.
Exactly. So things are going to order from here. So done a massive job, and you enter a new reality. Okay, it's a very high frequency reality we're in. It's outside of the matrix bubble. Okay, signal from outside of the matrix bubble that we carry, and we're transmitting to you right here, listening to this. Okay, when you resonate with this is activating everything inside of you that you need in order to do what needs to be done now for our home planet.
I mean, for months, this is the sickness of the network. We're dealing with psychologists here. They're psychologists. They know how to play you on a psychological level through the manipulation of your psyche and emotions, okay? And they really did their best to make me perceive Steve as a schizophrenic. Because they know that Steve is intelligent, okay? He decodes things for what they are. He questions things. He studies things, questions them. He decodes them. He sees them for what they are. He connects the dots. He sees them. They don't like this. They don't like this form of free thinking. So they demonize it, and they call it, oh, you're psychotic. You're too much in the mind. You have to come into the heart. You're too much in the mind. Yeah? So they really did a good job in making me perceive Steve as a psychotic lunatic going crazy as well. And that's what caused the divide between us as well. And obviously Steve was beginning to think that I'm a part of the network as well, because I wasn't seeing, you know. But you see, no matter what they do and how hard they try, they just buy time, and then magnetically, boom, the inevitable happens. We're drawn back together. We do make the slay.
Yeah, that's what, as soon as we got back together, you dropped the nuke on them. This is why they try to divide us. And you see, it's just lessons learned. That's all. There's I needed that time, the 5 months, to prepare for this and get rid of my habits that were keeping me from coming into resonance with the field of ayahuasca. So when you drink ayahuasca, like my dad the other day said, oh, Steve, we're a little bit worried about you because you might be drinking too much ayahuasca, as if ayahuasca was a drug that I have to keep taking, when it's actually the exact opposite. Ayahuasca made me gave me a slap around the face. Hardcore slap around my face where I was left with nothing and completely on my own. So I could get rid of smoking, of drinking, and going into the ice cold water. How would I have done that if everything would have been rosy and you just sit back and just enjoy the party of the Truman Show and just drink and celebrate because it's all love, you know? You don't think about demons, you know, you're creating them, you're so dark, you're psychotic, you see?
You know, the Satanists really hate that. The Archons really hate it when you climb up the mountain in the snow, okay? And you crack the ice on the frozen lake, okay? And you strip naked and you stand there and you start doing pull-ups and push-ups and lunges and squats. And then you go into the ice cold water and you high command them to leave. I'm of this land. This is my land. Powers of the land, hear me. Expel this evil. They hate that. Naked in the middle of winter in the snow. This really slays them. This really slays them. And then after that, you go and do Ayahuasca and a datura ceremony, and they cannot handle it.
Yeah, it's the nuke. It really is the nuke, and it's incredible, isn't it? When you've got in the Truman Show, what they show you what a nuke is and nuclear weapons. Okay, when it is that what it is, and we just found out. You know, I knew nothing about ayahuasca. I know now, and I'm decoding more of it. You see, this is how this works.
I mean, when people think they know about ayahuasca because they've watched documentaries on it on YouTube, it's nothing to do. Nothing.
Even if you've taken it 50 times.
It's nothing to do.
When you're in the right environment, with the right intention, at the right time, like it happened with us in St. Corona, this ayahuasca medicine makes you transform entire reality. This is the power of it.
The strongest intention you can have, okay, is, dear medicine, I want nothing other than the one and only truth. I do not care what it looks like. I do not care about the consequences of it for me. I want the truth now.
And that was the absolute nuke. And yeah, we don't care about consequences. So for the first time in my life, I'm homeless and I'm happy to make the experience because you see, we see that we can fly no matter what. And we're pulling in a nice place now where it's going to be even more of a relief and we're going to be even more happy because we're pulling it in now. And everything works according to divine order. And these are the best of times, actually. When you transform the worst of times, it becomes the best of times. That's the transformation we're in right now. And this describes the entire COVID crisis. The worst of times, and the worst had to happen. As you like to say, all roads lead where?
All roads lead to the devil. And then you have to face and stand off and slay. It's cleared, then everything is open. Exactly. That's why I always said, first war, then only peace is possible. And a lot of people despise me for this. Oh, I don't want to talk about war, and I don't really see an enemy. Face the fucking truth.
This is the highest knowledge, you see. That as this goes along with one of the greatest minds and spirits ever to have walked the earth, Carl Jung, when he said, enlightenment is not imagining figures of light, but making the darkness conscious.
Mm-hmm.
As Errol says, all roads lead to the devil, all roads lead to Satan, the demiurge. And then you bust the demiurge, recognizing that it is Wetiko, okay? It is a representation of the concept of the limited ego personality.
And it is a spirit trying to come in to gain a physical body because it does not exist in the physical form. Yeah. It's an energy. Yeah. Pathetic one, sick fuck.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And then you checkmate it. You checkmate it by you're decoding and understanding that you are a soul that you grow. Okay, as the Castaneda books talks about, you grow your soul. It grows and grows in evolution. Yeah, being aligned with evolution, which is the opposite of the involutionary force that is Satan.
Yeah, this is why I despise all these new age healing centers and this new age spirituality movement. Okay, it never addresses this. It's always about imagining everything is light and everything is okay and nothing is wrong. There is no problem. Excuse me, but that's the definition of masturbation. It's spiritual masturbation. It's nothing more than fooling oneself. You're only fooling yourself, nobody else, and nothing else.
Yeah. So yeah, we expect the best to come now, absolutely now, and you're gonna see the people taking over the governments, taking over everything. Okay, and you take back one country, you take back the whole world. That's what it is. It's an empire that has been so sophisticated in distorting our perception, okay, not to do the things that heal us, that help us, okay, and activate the courage in us, the warrior, and fully go for them and take it back. And this is what we're going to see next in the physical. So we don't have to show you any proof. You go and watch. You just go and watch what happens next. So any more to add?
Yeah, play your next card, Francie.
There is no more next card, unfortunately, for him. So anyways, again, I would like to, at the end, remind all of you that when there ever was a time before we take over the monetary system and create our monetary system, if there even needs to be one, probably we don't need it. We need your help now. Okay, so underneath in the description below, you can become a Patreon supporter and help us make a one-time donation, which we can split in our group so we can live somewhere. Because
to do this work.
Exactly.
Because for the first, I never asked for help ever. Okay, but for the first time now, I'm gonna start asking for help from people, from human beings, not the archons. Exactly. Okay, because here's where we flip the tables, and we don't meet archons anymore to be deceived by it and to be fooled by it. Good people start coming into our lives now because we've activated the magnetics. So yeah, we need a place where we can continue doing this work. Because I'm pretty sick and tired of spending nights out in the cold and in the rain, sleeping in huts and cold places in the middle of Austria, you know.
No more anymore. And
done it enough.
Exactly. And yeah, you need to ask also, and ask for help, which is what they most program us not to do, isn't it? Oh, see, you're weak. No, I don't recognize the human family, and everything's going to be there when I need help, and you just ask for it. And now's the time for us to happily ask for it, because all of what we do is just dedicated to the one cause of freedom. Okay, and we don't charge anything for this, because that it puts a cap and it limits the information that we share.
We have to say now. I have to say now. When I had no place to stay but a hut with Christoph the Wizard, okay, and we were preparing the hut to survive in the hut through the whole winter, right, in a cold hut, and we had our last bit of money. We didn't buy food with it. We went and bought more medicine. Because we knew something big was coming and we needed the medicine, and that was exactly the right move we made. And now that we did this job, it's the next level now. And I'm in full trust that everything we need will come our way to make the next step. And basically, this is the depth you got to go. You're in the middle of a country you don't even belong to. I'm from London. I don't even speak the German. I'm in Austria, okay? I have no family here. And all the people I've been connected with here all around me have been the network. So they made me dependent on them in a way to make me conform, so I don't make the slay. I don't do the real job with Steve here and Chris. So when I sussed them out and gave them the finger, it was basically me and the wizard in a hut. And we had a last bit of money. We combined it together. We didn't buy food. We bought medicine. We bought medicine to take ourselves and offer to the people for free. And nobody fucking came. What does that tell you? You're offering free medicine to the people and no one around you wants to come. Why? Because they're all part of the network. They know that if they come to your ceremony, you're going to bust their head out.
And now we've busted the whole network. And actually yesterday, okay, it's funny how this live stream just keeps on continuing. It's funny, but it's all good. Happy to do this. And yesterday it felt to me like it was the first time. I mean, next to my family, it was the first time to meet real people in 10 months. Because you're going into to transform the darkness to light, which is the only way alchemy works. Okay, it's not just straight away light. No, you have to transform the darkness, and we went into the darkness for how many months?
Right, a little bit of exposure now. Philip Vestbaum and Karin from Moron from Aya Vision 22 network. Okay, so anybody thinking of joining ayahuasca ceremonies in Austria, stay away from Aya Vision 22. That will be the first website to come up on the top of Google searches when you type in ayahuasca retreats in Austria. And that's for a reason as well. They've made sure of that. Aya Vision 22. Stay away network.
Exactly. And yes, they are basically like Agent Smiths in the Matrix, soulless beings.
Soulless.
They have no soul.
Evil.
Exactly.
Evil.
Pure evil. And this is something we're going to talk about in next video. Okay, the way they work is they work through altars. This all works on the basis of mind control, where you don't see the other personality that does the sacrifices and the child molesting and the raping.
So basically, when you confront them and tell them that they're Satanists and high priests, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
That's how they hide. It's through altars.
Mm-hmm. Different personalities.
Yeah. And when you're isolated with them and you're about to slay their demon, then that altar comes forward, which hosts the demon itself. And you're confronted with the demon. And the demon knows exactly what you're talking about. And nobody shares this information, man. It's interesting how the altar system works. They're born into the network. The families where they're abused from childhood, which creates the altars, and not one altar is aware of the other one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We'll talk about it another time.
Exactly. So until next time, okay, all the very best to all of you. And remember, it is happening now, not tomorrow, not in a few weeks. What we're talking about here is an ongoing Gnostic investigation in taking down a satanic pedophile criminal network. And
wow.
They're fucked. And we share with you our story. So we do this all around the world and make it to the paradise that it truly is. Till next time, take very good care. Bye-bye.